Have you ever been playing on your PC and all of a sudden it just starts smoking and you realise it's actually because you haven't been checking its temps every 2 seconds? So you try and build a Gameboy to monitor the temps without distracting you from that comp you're trying to win? Yeah, that hasn't happened to me either, but it felt like the logical thing to build to actually be able to monitor my PC temperatures. You're probably wondering why I'm going to be using a Gameboy instead of a simple tiny monitor inside the PC like most people do. I'm wondering that myself, but I have an insane amount of Gameboy shells from all the mods I've done in the past, and it felt like the right thing to be using. Anyway, I'm going to be needing a couple of extra bits and bobs other than the Gameboy shell I mentioned. I'll need a tiny screen that can fit inside the shell, hopefully, a USB power cable, and an HDMI ribbon. I think that's it. It sounds a bit too easy to be true, so I'm going to get started and see if I'm missing anything. Okay, so you've probably guessed it, I'm not actually programming a Gameboy to show my temperatures. I'm using the shell of a Gameboy to hide a tiny screen that is actually just going to be a second monitor. The biggest task will actually just be fitting this screen, or finding a tiny screen that can fit inside a Gameboy shell. The one downside of actually wanting to fit a monitor is the cables. They don't fit very nicely inside the shell, it's not a lot of space, so this is going to be a permanent mod. I'm going to have to destroy the back of this shell just to give enough breathing room inside so that the cables can fit into the PCB of the monitor and everything can be wired up properly. While I'm busy destroying this shell, let's actually check up on a tiny side quest I needed to do for my PC. Every time I needed to get to the back of my case, it's been a huge faff. I ended up hitting my head on the wall, dropping my glasses, or breathing in some nice dust from the back of the case. So I thought of a solution for this. The last step was adding some wheels and we're good to go. That looks so much better and it's so much nicer to plug stuff in at the back of my computer now. I can just pull it out and get to it without any issues. Anyways, back to the task at hand with the Gameboy monitor. Once I managed to fit it all in, destroy a bit of the back of the case which looks super ugly, we're going to ignore that part. I managed to close it up. I only had 2 threads for screws left because I had to cut the other ones left, so it was really hanging on for dear life. The last step was setting up the software. I used a combination of Rainmeter and HW Info, and we're done. And I present to you the most unnecessary temperature monitor for a PC. Or at least for my PC. I'm sure there's loads out there. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below your favourite Gameboy game, and I will see you next time. Take care.